This one get me
Not
hot.
ready for it.
This one get me hot.
Spicy?
Because yeah,
to get hot?
it's about to
Seems
get hot.
like it.
It's about to get hot. I gave you
Turn on
guys.
my AC real quick. You know?
Let me take off this sweater real quick. Hold up.
Yeah. Oh man, this one gets spicy. All right, does body count matter?
Let's talk about it. Like,
Let's talk about it. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
Angelica.
And we don't gotta go in like that.
Yeah.
Angelica.
No. Just joking.
We get crazy.
Being in the gay community.
Yeah, we clearly have a representative. Okay.
Yes, we got two. All right, this is why I had to ask her to come through.
Oh my god.
Dang, that's hard. That's really, really hard to say. Honestly,
I want to know your perspective because I'm gonna share my perspective.
She's just letting you know now.
Yeah.
This is
to be honest, no. Reason why I say no because you got experience, like you know what I mean. So if you got all that experience, sex better be good. That's all I'm saying. Like it better be like good. Like, but if you got experience and it's just like whack, like then what the hell you been doing? That's how I look at it. So to me, honestly, like it's like a yes and no, but it's more on the no side.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I want to add to your perspective because I do see it as like, so I see it as a yes from and maybe I'm biased, but I'm not trying to be, I swear. Please correct me. But I see it as like if she, because we have a pool of women. We have our lesbians, we have our what is it called? Why am I losing the word? Are bisexual. I'm like, why?
I was like, I know
Clearly you're not the representative.
Right?
Talk to the representative.
Right.
Get some feedback.
like, help me out. Hold on, wait.
Right?
What?
She had it.
So there's women that also like men. So my whole thing is that like it depends on like how many women you've been with, right?
Yes.
Because then like if you tell me like 15, right? Like that's still gonna make me look at you low, like right? But
wait,
like,
time out. Let me ask you something. Hold on. Let me go with this real fast. You say 15, but does it depend on the age? You got to look at the age of a woman. That's where you got to think about it. How long she's been a lesbian or how long she's been bi. Like so that kind of plays into a factor of like how many bodies.
But that's why I
say
yeah, and that's why I say like I still would look at it like, but it does give me the perspective of like, okay, you have experience, right? But like if I also know that like you're bisexual and then you've been with like a lot of men, it's gonna throw me off a little bit because to me is like, excuse me, to me is more like, damn, like so. What's your life like? And I don't mind asking questions like, was you a thotty back then? Like, was you just, were you with it? Like, what was going on?
It's a safe space. It's a safe space.
Yeah,
just tell me what's
up.
up.
Talk to me. Let's talk.
I'm not gonna cut you off.
But I just need more understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to understand. And that's where my thought process comes in because I'm just like, well, damn, like I gotta dig deeper into this. So to me, it's more like I don't want to. To me, is yes and no. I gotta say because the yes would be like, damn, like too much, and then the no would be like, okay, like no, like it's all good. Like you come with.
We out here teetering. We out here teetering in the gay community. We don't know. We like
yes and no,
But yes and no.
No, but
I would say yes to like who I want to make you exception for though.
That's your
okay.
And that's where I'll be like, all right, I got it, because then you call.
So if it's worth it.
Yes, exactly. I'm sorry, not everyone is. I
hope we have some. Right.
I never know if it's worth it. So
but like the attraction, like how it goes with dating. Like I like you. Okay, we got things in common. All right, cool. Like you got things I like, things that I value. We have same values. So it really depends if we match. You get me? Okay. But if like we don't, like, and I'm just trying to fuck around, like,
But my question is to this. You know how people say like, don't judge me about my past?
Yeah.
So no, I'm judging you. I'm not gonna
That's
hold
an
it
L.
against you, but I'm judging you.
That's an L.
Yeah.
Come on.
You feel what I'm saying? Like you're a new person. You can be a new person.
That's that whole new thing. Don't judge me by my past. Like,
Oh my god!
you gotta
cut
like,
some part of that though. Like,
right.
come on.
Yeah.
right. Take accountability.
Right,
Take accountability.
yes, that's the whole point. This is why we're here at High Consciousness Podcast.
Exactly.
Take some damn accountability.
Goddamn accountability.
Or at least to let it be known, we need to take some damn accountability as a society. Like,
Thank you.
Oh my
I told you it
god!
got hot. All right,
It's still,
Diamond,
it's
you
still,
next.
still burning. Hold on.
What you think, Diamond? What's your
I'm
thought?
here. I'm here. Before I start, I do apologize. I'm on break at work. You guys probably been seeing me run left, right. Phone was dying, but I think I found it. I'm trying to hide from people.
Thank you. Thank you for the efforts.
Yeah, because I'm like, they're probably like, what is she doing? So does body count matter? My perspective is absolutely. Reason being is because now, granted, there's different factors.
Wait, but what
that
perspective
will-
you're coming from? Are you coming from like as a woman, like woman to woman, or you to men, like men, like?
I don't understand the question. I'm sorry.
So, like, are you thinking?
I'm
more,
straight. I don't know if
right?
that.
So you're
you
saying
feel what
like
I'm saying?
body
Like,
mentality.
my co-host Beyonce right there in the corner.
We know.
I know.
We know, but I'm saying more like if a woman's dating a man, do you think that like how many men she slept with?
I got
You get me? Or if you're dating a man, does body count men towards like
I'm
You
gonna
can give
say
me
my
both
perspective is very much even in the sense that I'll say if I was a lesbian, I wouldn't necessarily want somebody with a high body count either. So I'm just gonna speak. I have the same perspective both. I think just because you're in the LGBT community or you're straight, it doesn't make a difference to where your morals should be. And when I say that, I think there's different factors on people growing up and how they're raised that really will affect that body count. I feel like if you're raised in such a way where things were transparent to you, you got things explained to you, you had an actual father in the household that was able to give you perspective on what to look for. As women, I don't think we would fall for so many things. But there's a lack of that. So if we're going to just talk transparently, yeah, it absolutely matters. I being somewhat understanding, I almost want to give it like an age cutoff. Like I feel like after 21, like if you're able to like legally drink, you should have enough consciousness to have morals set in place at this point. So I think at that point, yeah, because with more bodies comes a lack of emotional attachment that starts to dwindle. You said something earlier, Lynn, about people. You would make an exception, and that's fine too. But it's to also realize that as you make the exception to this individual, looking for those red flags that would pop up because of a body count, not being able to communicate, wanting to run away, thinking that you can go get whatever they want, so you're disposable. Like to a certain extent, that person, if they have so many body count in their head, they're like, I can get whatever I want. I don't need you. And no one wants to be as a partner looked at as disposable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I also just think that I genuinely cannot find the flex in being a hoe. I don't see. I'm so sorry.
From the depths of my soul, I cannot see it.
I don't see why. Like, if you had like a girl that like maybe had one or two experiences, and they're a good girl and all these things, and then you have Miss, oh yeah, I get a new nigga every other day. It's like, man or woman, I wouldn't admire you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't find you someone I want to look up to just because you know how to open your legs up. Like, it's just, I don't know. And it baffles me to watch women act like this is some form of empowerment. Like, let men be disgusting. Let men feel that empowerment. Like it doesn't make us feel good. They can lie all they want that it's empowering and they can do whatever they want. No one wants to get ran through and left to dry by themselves.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
That's it. So it does count. Yes.
you made me
solid. Yes, I don't teeter.
You made me think differently. Like, damn. All right. I'm gonna sit on that. I got some reflection to do.
That's what I came on here for. I wanted you guys to like hide, like stop riding the fence. You guys sometimes gotta pick a side.
Yeah,
it's okay. Like, gonna hurt some.
I ain't picking sides.
Yeah, okay. I was here.
He's set.
He said, I was here. I'm going.
Mike, a quick question. I have a question.
Yeah.
When we talk about body counts, like what's the number that we're looking at? Like that's what I'm trying to like understand too.
I think it's per person.
No, we don't know. Like honestly, because some people could be like, oh, if they had sex with like 10 people, they're like, oh, or if they had sex with like
50
people.
I would say 10 is like like
but
to
I
me,
think that's
pushing it. At least for me as a person, like I think 5 would be like, all right, like depending. And you made a point when you said depending on age. Like both of you, you're a diamond, like you know what I'm saying. So I feel like it does kind of it really like once it's a double digit, I'm start questioning. Like,
and I think it's per person. I think some people could care less, and that's great.
That's fine. That's fine.
But to somebody that it matters, it's not a bad thing that it matters. It just happens to matter. Like if we're talking about straight relationships, men value experiences with women. There's a man could take you to the same restaurant that he took all the other 10 girls he's been talking to, but if you're special to him, it's special to him to take you there, even if it's the 50th time he's been there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the same thing in the LGBT community, but it's that piece of it. So sometimes they want to, make sure that, it's weird to say, but it's almost like they want to make sure that they almost live rent-free in your head. They won't tell you that. Men won't tell you that because then, they're simps and they can't express themselves. But they want to know that they have a place where, okay, I did this for her. No one's ever done this for her. All these girls traveling all over the place. It's not leaving any room to, like, oh, let's go to the Bahamas. I've never been there. I've been there like 10 times. It's, it's whatever. It's not special anymore.
Yeah.
And that's not to say to, like, lock yourself up, but to save some things for, no one thinks about their future partner. If that is something that you want to do, if you do want to have a relationship and be with somebody, you should think about those things. Maybe there's some things you could hold off on for that person, but it's we have a lot of selfishness in society now, so it doesn't leave room for those thoughts. We don't even think about stuff like that because we're thinking about us and our experiences, and eventually you might want to share that with somebody.
Yeah.
I'm done though. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. Thank you for sharing, though. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
that was your perspective. All right, John, you're up next.
I think I agree with 50% of Diamond's perspective and 50% of Angelica's perspective because it's a yes and no for me. It depends on like the age of the person as well, but it also like depends on like if this is a pattern. If this person is just like playing around or like fooling around every time, then probably that does matter. The count does matter. But if it's something like more serious in a relationship back then, I don't want to judge because of that, like I don't want to judge that body count because of that. Like if the person was serious in a relationship, things doesn't work out, it's fine. You are experiencing things. So this is what life is, and you are going to experience relationship. So it's a yes and no for me. It all depends on like their past,
like who you're dealing with.
Yeah, correct.
Right. Situational based. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Lean, you up next?
All right. Oh my gosh, this is. I'm trying really hard to.
I love how Angelica started.
It really is. Because it's just like I'd like to think, I believe that I am, right, that I'm a very understanding person, so it's like for me, it's like if you're honest about your experiences, right? I feel like I can put that aside and be like, okay, like John V said, I actually agree with literally probably 100% of what she said. Is that if it is a situation where you've been in relationships and it's like, okay, they've just been relationships, you can't really.
But what about if they
somebody
ran through like 30 women?
It's still
you
relationships.
you didn't go through 30 relationships. Like, that's
No,
crazy.
not relationships. Just
Well,
in
like
general,
30
like
women.
just the experience of sex. You get me?
They
Like,
were bored.
yeah, like.
All
you
right,
know?
no. See, and that's
Go pick up a book if
Does
you're
body-
bored.
does
Go pick
body
up a
count
book. Go
I
for a
see,
walk.
because you can do other things. Like boredom does not equate to let me go and have sex randomly with somebody.
But it happens
you
though.
can-
Men do that though.
but,
Yes,
like,
they do.
I know
Yep.
they do that, but it's just
But
like
we're not men. We're not talking about men.
so.
We're talking about
body count.
we are
though.
talking-
We are
see,
talking
'cause
about the body count, like.
See, it's hard.
Because you're
man.
experiencing a
It's
man,
hard.
right? So like if a man comes through and he's like, yeah, I fucked like 30 bitches, but I want to marry you, like, how is that, you know?
Oh my God.
Again,
not be at the
that's
altar.
That man has lack of emotions, I think. Because, like, if you are going with, like, 30 women, like, you don't have emotions, dude. Like, yeah.
I think
which
it's hard.
most men don't.
Yeah,
I think-
They're logical.
yeah.
They're not feelings based. They're very logical. I think when it comes to, if you're gonna use that perspective, ironically, women tend to value, even if they don't notice it or see it, they actually tend to value men that have had more experiences, or they don't want to have to teach a man anything.
Yeah.
So, but it's not the same for women. Women are seen as
Yeah.
this like delicate, like a flower almost. You're all beautiful little flowers.
Yeah.
And the more that you get ran through, the more petals get popped off and you get stepped on and you don't get watered and you look a little dry and you know the sun ain't been out for a while. Unfortunately, it sucks, but there is a certain level of difference.
Gotta go put some soil in it, you know, maybe
You know, you didn't fertilize anything, you just kind of winging it. It's as easy as I can make it.
Hey, yo.
So I'm not trying to personally sit here and teach a man how to please me. I'm not trying to do that. Like
So
personally.
okay, hold on, time
Yeah.
out. So we have a double standard now. This is what I'm trying to understand. So men can do body counts because now they get experience, but a woman shouldn't have body counts because they can't have their flower deflowered.
No, I don't think it's about what we can and can't do. Everybody can do what they want. I'm not even saying like you need to be a virgin. But what I am saying is that we, as women, we allow access. You understand?
Right.
A man can only once in a while can you be forcefully chosen to do something like that. But normally we grant access. We forget the power that is involved with that, the leverage that we have in that, and then you just opening it up to everybody. It doesn't make a man look at you or somebody else look at you as like a really strong woman or anything. It just kind of looks like you're easy. And why do you want to be looked at like you're easy?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just like all this bragging. It's like I don't see how it's cute.
Yeah. Like with the women when they like I slept with X amount of men, to me, like that's why I say yes and no. Because that to me, like it comes at the end of the day, you know how like your parents when you were growing up, like your baby JJ is your private spot. Don't let nobody touch it. And it was a special. It's like everything about it is special as us as women. So I get what you're saying for us as women, like that is something special because it shouldn't be just given to anyone. Yeah. And it shouldn't be easily. Right.
Do we want it to be special? We control perspective. We control how either society or men see us. If we choose to walk out in short shorts and a crop top, it's like one of those things. If you're going to wear the uniform, don't be mad at the stuff that you get outside. I love Muslim culture with the hijabs and the cover up because if you actually look into reasonings why they do this, the men love their women so much and they just cherish their daughters so much. It's not about liberation. They say, hey, we know how men think. Men are dogs. I would rather not have my daughter go out and be gawked at. I would rather her strip everything that you have to offer in that sense physically. And that man can only fall for who you are. So there's not going to be this miscommunication of like, she got a fat ass, that's why I'm going for that. You don't know. You really got to go off these eyes and how I talk. Do I talk nice?
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And then we vet. There's in Western society, it's like we want to just do whatever we want and not be held accountable, not be told to our face the truth. And then we want men to just conform to what we're doing. No, it's not how that works.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you being a hoe.
Being a hoe. I mean, too.
But sorry, I also have different values. So. I also have different values. So, no, but that's true though. That is true, and it is something that's especially that's why I asked, because you see this whole perspective thing. Like, is there anything else you want to share, Eileen? I know it was on like you were on like.
No, that was it. Diamond pretty much hit it there. I
just love women. I really do.
It's hard.
I love them, and I want them to look better. I want them to just take more accountability on how people perceive them. Yeah. Like reality is reality. You can't, you can't control what people think, but you can sure sway it. Like.
But yes, I agree. But see, now this goes back to being a mom. When you're a mom, I have a son. So having a son, my son is going to be brought up to not treat women or look at women like they're a piece of meat. So that's what you have to understand too, is that some of these men that stare at these women, that comes from the household also. Because if you start from home and letting your son know, like, listen, at the end of the day, women are special.
Yeah.
Women are this. Don't look at them like they're just a piece of ass. That's the truth. You know, so if a girl should not be penalized because she's wearing short shorts.
Yeah.
A female should not be penalized because she's wearing a crop top. Because when you got that respect, no matter what, you should still respect a woman no matter what. Because at the end of the day, you were born from a female.
Facts.
You know.
Yep. Yeah. And I feel like that's what's steering away though. Like the fact that like we don't even get respect as females. Like,
well, we don't give them a reason to respect us. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
The only way a man will respect you first is
if you don't respect yourself.
You respect yourself.
That's what anybody.
How the tables keep turning.
Anybody, yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Men with the heat.
Yeah, like that's just.
And how many women do you really think give you a reason to respect them nowadays?
Yeah.
You feel me? No. Yeah. You can be a mom all you want. That's great. But it's, that doesn't just give you a pass. So the world has to respect you. I know some really awful moms.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Awful.
All the TikTok moms out there just doing why is your kid over there just laying on the ground?
Twerking.
No,
that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Whole different conversation.
Right. Let's not get too carried away, but yeah.
See, I value you guys because you guys also have values, like there's people out there that really don't think this way and really think for themselves that, well, like they're doing it. Like we see it on our everyday basis. So, but yeah, like I just feel like we need to take more accountability as women, though. Like, but thank you for sharing. I don't want to move on to the next one yet because that was so good.
That was good.
Damn,
I enjoyed that.
It got crazy. It got so good. We got so
people writing notes. Right?
Got me over here, like think about it. So I'll move on to the next question and then we'll end it. So real quick, do women expect a lot and give a little nowadays?
That's saucy. Angelica.
Damn, you don't even give a minute for us to think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Not thinking about it.
What you got?
Nah, we live.
Right.
Nah.
Yeah.
You big. you big right now. So are you.
I know. I see this. Honestly, yeah. Because we expect, like, again, the whole like respect and all of that thing that we've just been talking about. We expect to be put on this pedestal, but at the end of the day, like, why do we deserve to be on that? You know what I mean? Just because, whatever, like we've been through the ringer or our heart's been broken and all these things. Is like you expect the next person to pick up those pieces and give you all that, but what are you doing, like, to provide, or what are you doing to even deserve that. And I definitely agree. I say, yeah, we actually, not me. There's, I'm not saying
Clarification.
clarification, not
But
me.
nowadays,
Definitely not me. Not me at all. I'm the person that gives a lot. But yeah, I do see a lot of people that I know, other relationships that I know that their partner would not even do like the bare minimum, you know, but they expect to go on that trip to Bora Bora when you're not even doing the laundry. So like it's like the little things, you know what I mean? So yeah,
Can't make this shit up.
Not at all. Not at all.
Facts. That's facts. Damn, what you think?
Let's see. Do women expect a lot and give a little nowadays? Yes, and
Sorry,
What?
I muted that
Wait.
by accident.
oh,
Sorry.
you muted me for your cough.
I meant to mute myself.
Like, oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Go ahead and cough. Go ahead and cough. Do you have any more coughs left? Mute me, please, if you need to.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
You're good. I think that the expectations, I really do think that they grow larger with age. I think if you can find younger women, they don't necessarily, it's not that they don't have as much expectations, but they're more willing to work with. I think there's a lot of, and this could be on both ends, men and women, but I just think a lot of people are selfish. So, and I think this, I mean, I'll talk, transparently. I think there was some moments in my own relationship where, I was expecting a lot of things. And, like, I wanted to be a wife, I wanted to be engaged, and I didn't really look at, what I was asking for. I just wanted the title, as a lot of us do. And my fiance really had to kind of like put me in my place, in a sense of like, hey, like, you want to be a wife, but what are you doing that wives do? And at the time, I really thought I was doing this thing. I mean, I did a lot, don't get me wrong, but I thought I was really doing things. I wasn't. I do a lot more things now than I ever did when I was felt entitled to expect those things. And again, I just really think it comes down to, it's almost like we got to stop we should look at men and women or your partner vetting for certain expectations. But once you guys decide to commit to each other, it really just needs to be friendship and commitment and helping each other on both ends. That way we don't expect too much and give nothing. We all just give and give to each other. And there might even be sometimes in relationships where the things that you expect, you may not get. I think you can't live with somebody for the rest of your life and expect to never hurt their feelings, to never ignore them or anything like that. And a lot of women expect everything to be just perfect and nice because of social media, and they see all their couples making their little TikToks. Why can't we be like that? I'm sure those couples have their times too, but that's not what they're showing you.
Yep. That's what I said earlier. I said that that people don't see the work that has to be taken into that. With giving people your time in general, like even just talking, like even in the dating world, like you still have to stay here and do kind gestures, like, yeah, let me text you in the morning, let me check in on you, let me FaceTime you, let me do this, that, and the third, so yeah, thank you for sharing though.
No problem.
Let me get you.
I'm so big.
Let me get you small. Let me get Jammy big. Ta-da!
I think for me, it's the opposite. I'm always like, I have this fear of like, if I'm putting enough efforts or not. So I always do more. And also like, I see what I'm receiving. So let's say if I'm receiving like 100%, I'm going to give 200% back. I used to think that way before, that I used to like expect a lot, but then I reflected that it should be equal. Like if someone is giving you something, like if they're giving their time, if they're putting efforts, if they are doing things for you, going out of the way for you, I think you should value that. Um, I think that's the biggest key, like to value the person, to value their time, to value their efforts. So for me, it's like I value that a lot. I value that time a lot, especially if I see like he's always busy in his education and career, and still he is going out of his way to
Mhm.
to give me all that time. Um, so I think it should be equal. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like what I agree with you, because I feel like it's a sense of boundaries on
Yeah.
both ends. Like like we're both, it's an equal give and take, and but there's a boundary there that I'm not gonna, like, I can't also, and this is with anything, right? Like I'm just gonna put it as that it's like with a platonic relationship or a romantic relationship. Like when you give too much and you don't get enough back, like
Right.
like there's that gap, and the whole point is to, as two people going through this journey together, is to fill that gap. Because at the same time, you should, I'm not saying that relationships are gonna stress you, but damn, like it shouldn't be like,
Right.
like
It shouldn't be
at
stressful.
some point there has to be a boundary that you have with yourself, that it's like, all right, well, this is where my okay, I'm feeling uncomfortable comes in, and it should be equal as for him or whoever your partner is as well, to have that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I would like to add up this, like some days we are not 100%, like so if I'm giving my 40,
Like,
and if
not
he is
my turn
giving
yet.
if that day he is giving his 60, I think that is going to make a balance, like every day we cannot just give 100%. So like there should be like one is covering for other. That's what I feel.
Nah, yeah. I agree
Yeah.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Me extra, so sorry, I put Eileen big earlier by accident when I meant to
Yo,
put
her
Libby.
reaction
Yeah, I
right
know.
before you did anything, it was you gotta stick a meme in there, just a look away meme or something right there, because she did it. She wrote the meme.
And I was
I
so
am
into what
the
Jami
meme.
was saying, and I'm like,
I don't want to laugh, but I'm like, oh shit.
I had to mute myself because I was like,
I was thrown off. I was like, okay. It was-
yo, I know. Eileen's like, it's not my turn.
I spoke a little longer. Sorry, Eileen.
No,
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 you're
no,
good.
you're
You're
good.
Nothing
fine.
on you. You're
I'm like
good.
saying so like
Yo.
I speak very like slowly than I should. So yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, you're good.
No, you're
No
We
worries.
just had a technical
fine.
difficulty
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's nothing on you, Jami. You speak as
Yeah.
slow or as fast as you like. Right? It's a safe space. Oh, D. But thank you for sharing, though. I definitely do agree with your perspective as well. I feel like we're aligned on that. Eileen, you next. Now, let me put you.
Oh, is it for
there.
real
There
this
she
time?
is. There she
Okay.
is.
Okay. All right. Before I answer this, I'm going to say and preface that I personally don't think there's an issue with expecting, right? Like having high expectations
Okay, yes.
or having expectations in general, right?
Somebody said it. Okay, dale.
But I will say, I mean, I only say this because I went through kind of similar to what Diamond said around like before I kind of in my previous relationship, and I'll be very transparent, I was engaged at one point before this. So for me, in that relationship that I was in, I felt as though I was constantly expecting this to be a certain way because I had an idealistic view of what I
Yeah.
wanted him to be, right? So I felt like, everything that he was doing wasn't checking the boxes on my list that I had about a person. So I feel like one of the things that you have to really do is look inward and be like, hey, like, what? Because then the other person is just thinking, well, I could never be enough for her. That's
like
the
what's your
thought,
standard? Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like, and that is never what I wanted to put out there. Is more so I felt like from all my previous experiences or things that I have gone through, you should be this way because I went through so and so and so, right?
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that in my current relationship that has taught me is to look inward as to, okay, why do you feel like you deserve this, or why is it that did you do the things that you were supposed to? And I felt like I did, but at the same time, maybe I could have been a little bit better about how I went about it, or like maybe how did I approach this a certain way. Maybe I was a little bit more confrontational than maybe I should have been. There are things that you just have to look inward, and I think that's the biggest piece, is if you're going to expect a lot from somebody, then also take the accountability to understand when you're wrong, and when you feel like, you know, you need to, that other person, you know, like Diamond said, keep you in check a little bit sometimes about what you what you can offer. And I think that comes with growth, that comes with a lot of conversation, a lot of communication, a lot of like understanding what the other person needs from each other. And I think you need to have that conversation. You need to have as to, okay, you have these expectations, can I realistically fulfill those expectations? And if I can't, then oh well, deuces, right? Like, or if like you feel like it's too much for you, it's a chore, or if it's not, then that you just need to have those conversations. And I think that that's what would differentiate whether I feel like women expect a lot or they give little nowadays. I do believe, though, if I'm looking outwardly to the rest of the women in society nowadays, I feel like yes, just because, you know, they're like, yeah, I want a man to buy me all this, and I don't have to pay
they
a
want
dime.
the bag.
Speak on it.
Wait, but you.
But what you doing?
You
girl?
ain't shit.
Girl,
you
you
ain't
are
shit.
There looking
You on
pretty.
OnlyFans,
Like,
girl. That's what you're doing.
No.
That's not gonna work. That's just not.
Yo.
So,
Yep.
that's
That's
what I
facts.
think.
I like
So,
that.
That's facts. Thank you. I appreciate your perspective. Definitely brought a message there. But it's true. That's how I think about it too for myself. Like, you know, I have certain things that I do expect, and my two expectations from any relationship is just communication and honesty, right? But that's not even like into like that. Now when you're talking about a whole entire like being with somebody and talking to somebody, like that's when conversations do kick in, because you can see things differently. Like there's two different people here, and we have to figure out what's gonna bridge us together. Diamond.
Hi, thanks.
Hola. Hola, welcome
I just
back.
want to add one thing that's like, because I actually have to go to, but this is kind of like for everybody, and this is a personal experience of mine, so take what you will from it. I know when we're in relationships with people, especially if it's been a really long time, we get comfortable, maybe we know too much and we start to lose a little respect, or whatever the case may be. I remember somebody said something around the lines of like, put you in your place. I don't want that to get misconstrued, but I do think that anybody who's in a relationship with somebody, to a certain level, we should be okay with being put in their place respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what happens is we will lose respect for this person, or maybe we just don't see them the same way, and the same message that they give to us, someone else can give it to us, and we'll be like, oh my god, I never heard that before. But your significant other's been in your ear about it, been saying the same thing, but you just don't care that they're saying it. I think we need to, as individuals, every once in a while just reevaluate, how do you perceive this person? Like, for instance, my fiance, you know, a lot of people find our relationship and what we do, you know, more traditional, I guess. But it's not about him putting me in my place and me being submissive or anything like that. He lets me do what I want because I respect myself and I have morals. So there's nothing that I wouldn't do that he wouldn't respect. But I also had to learn that whole ring and all that. I learned that I really need to truly respect and value his opinion and not just fake. Only when it sounds good, it's good. No, like if he had, unfortunately, he knows me better than anybody else, anybody. So why would I take his perspective as if like he's talking out of his ass? Like, no, he cares about me and I respect him, so I will listen. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I just want to leave you with that.
Period.
Yes.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Amy.
Bye.
Oh man. So yeah, this is it. This was the dialogue. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Anything else? Like, if you guys want to leave a message to the women out there, you know, anything that you would like to say to the single woman, what they could be doing differently, or maybe what's working. So yeah, that'll be, and then we'll wrap it up from there. Go ahead, John.
I just want to say, value yourself, love yourself. That's it. Like, nothing is important than you. So, like, if you will love yourself, then things will fall right. Just, just don't lose that value, and just don't give everything to like someone. Like, just don't be too much devoted. Like, you need to have that for yourself as well, and be up to it.
Yep. Stand for something or
Yep.
fall for nothing. Yes. Thank you. That's a great message. Go ahead, Angelica.
Last thing I would love to say to us women out there is take the time that you need for yourself to be completely 100% ready for your relationship. And don't ever feel that you are alone. There's always people out there in this world that are willing to listen to you. And it doesn't have to be a family member. It could also be a friend. It could just even be a therapist.
Yeah.
Just don't ever be afraid to talk to someone when you feel very vulnerable, because that at that moment, it could be your breaking point. But that one person that you may speak to may change that thought, and you'll be okay. So just remind yourself that you are never alone in this world. And it may feel like it, but you never are.
Yes. Thank you. Vulnerability and self-awareness is a superpower. I put that up today. So that's what I have to say to my women out there. Don't be scared to be vulnerable. And even to that's what I said to my men too. Like, anybody, like, it's okay. Like, we all go through different things, and life is rough. And especially when you have someone there and you want a relationship, it's even better to know that when you find that person, they're willing to be there for you. Like that just makes you feel so much better. Eileen, you got anything?
See, let's close it out. I think that, and along with what John V and Angelica has said, but I think always take the time also to know what you want, know your needs and know the things that you are looking for. But don't ever think that these are things, always think that you're deserving, so to speak. Don't ever feel like you're above everyone in a sense, or anyone that you feel like you want to be connected to. Always just take what it is that you want and need, and express that, and also be understanding. Just be more empathetic towards because I know a lot of females right now are very much empowerment, and I 100% agree with it. But there's just a difference between that and just thinking that you are the literal pinnacle of everything right now, when in actuality, men and women, we need each other on this planet. You know what I mean? We're always, you're never gonna lose that value, because you already have that you're born with that, right? So it's more around just think about, just always hear all sides, hear all perspectives, and I promise you things will get better in life.
Period. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. This was great. This was a great conversation. Let me bring T up in here. T, you got anything else to say before we? You muted.
I'm on the sidelines.
Why is your mic muted? Right, I'm on the sidelines. Came in real quick for body count, like, yo, and then he's like, I am out.
Nah, it was dope. It was dope.
Yeah.
I was here for all the technical issues. I thought that was, you said you wanted me to do it, but
I know, but you were slow, dog.
No, I had to add 15 songs. My fault.
I know. You were doing great with the music. I appreciate the music. I do.
That was great. I appreciate every single one of y'all that came up on the panel. I really do. Thank you for sharing. And
no problem.
Don't worry, there's still more to come.
Yeah,
of course. Definitely.
We got one more.
It really is all about communication.
It really is.
It really is.
It really is. That's what it really goes back down to. So, but thank you for joining us. You guys are amazing, and thank you again for taking your time. And High Consciousness just wants to say, follow, like, subscribe, period. And I hope that you guys enjoy this episode. I hope that you really all take something away from it, and whatever perspective resonates with you, it resonates with you for a reason. So even dig deeper into that. And that's the whole point of this panel. And that's why I wanted to bring my ladies up in here. And it got hot. It got hot. It got real. It got nice, you know. And
It was
all of
sizzling.
it, yeah,
Sizzling
it
in
was
here.
great. All of your perspectives matter. And I just want you all to know that and continue to value yourselves and, you know, continue to do great in your relationships because you guys are doing great. You got beautiful smiles going on. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, something going on. You know what I'm saying? But either way, like, I really do appreciate you even giving the perspective of individually just valuing ourselves as women. So, thank you so much. And yeah, follow, like, subscribe. Thank you for coming to High Consciousness.
Bye.
Comment, subscribe, follow us all the time. Trying to get by. High Conscious Podcast on this line. Hey,
And we live.
and we live, and we go live. Yeah, whenever you like. Yeah, and want to join in, comment. Yeah, and give me all of your opinions.
Like and subscribe. Like, subscribe. Twitter and Facebook. Spotify. Amazon. SoundCloud. What else? I think. Hold up.
YouTube.
Mhm.
Drink some water. That was a tongue twist right there.
It was. But I'm ready.
Thank you, friends. We love you, and this is us. Welcome to High Consciousness Podcast.